Hi everyone, I'm Mitch. Welcome back to the channel. Today is Wednesday, the 26th of January 2022. If I'm not mistaken, it must be Australia Day. So happy Australia Day to all our Australian viewers. Today I'm in a district of Shengavit in Yerevan, which is about 5 kilometers south of the main central district. And as you can see, it's quite a bustling place. This is also the end of the line for the metro down there. You'll see, actually, it's just down in there. That's the entrance to the Garegin Nzhdeh metro station. And Garegin Nzhdeh was a famous military strategist back in the turn of the century, and a very important figure. So this is the square, folks. It's very busy. There's some main arterial roads here leading from the city and going towards also Sin. Very busy place and very interesting place. Shengavit. It's a working class district and I actually quite like it. I would encourage anybody who's coming to visit Armenia or even thinking of living in Yerevan to not bypass this district at all. It's got great connections by metro to the city. It only takes 10 minutes to the city, and marshrutkas, little buses going everywhere. So it's really great, and a lot cheaper than you'll find just in the nearby districts to the centre as well. For example, where we live in Armenian district, I would say for the equivalent apartment, we'd probably be paying maybe at least 20 to 30,000 US dollars less if we bought one here. And as you can see behind me, some examples of the architecture. There's like 5-story tufa apartment blocks all around, and you can pick one of them up, I'm sure, for a good one for 40 or 50,000 US dollars, maybe 60, and you've got a really nice one. So here we are, and I'll take you down in a minute, but just take you down to the metro and show you the shops underneath. Again, thank you for the great responses from the last couple of videos. I know these last few videos are a bit of a departure from our usual ones because Mrs. Mitch is not with me. One person who watches our channel even suggested that maybe Mrs. Mitch and I were going through some marriage problems. Well, that's a ridiculous notion, and I can tell you that's the furthest thing from the truth. And the same person actually suggested that maybe the devil himself was responsible for me doing these videos, which seem to be not promoting Armenia like my previous ones. Well, that's just ridiculous. Really that's ridiculous. And that person also claims to be a Christian. I've no doubt that he is, but I just want to say this, that I try to live to act out my Christian faith by what I do, not just by what I say and how many Bible verses I quote. I'm not in the habit of quoting a whole heap of Bible verses. I believe that God has taught us to love, and He's given us a perfect example of that through His beloved Son Jesus, and I'm all about trying to live that kind of a life, help others, Sonia and I, as best we can, and leave it at that. You want to say that the devil is somehow taking control or of my channel, or he wants to destroy it, that's up to you. But honestly, it's just nonsense. Anyway, folks, so probably enough said on that. Mrs. Mitch and I will, we do plan to get out, and we want to show you more of village life. This is very, very important. And I think the man behind me might be Garegin Nzhdeh. That's the statue, Nzhdeh, his statue. And yeah, so it's the reason why I'm doing these myself lately is because it's difficult for Mrs. Mitch to make these videos with me, and so at this during the colder months. But we'll get around to it again, have no fear of that. So without any further ado, let's show you around some shops, and I'm glad that you've tuned in. So this whole complex here is old Soviet style architecture. It's not in great condition, but once upon a time I believe it would have been quite beautiful. Yeah, it's just a very interesting place, and you'll see down here that once we get into where the shops are, it's very interesting. We've got lots and lots of shops here. Lots and lots of different sellers. Clothing shops we've got here, and lots of clothing shops along this one. And I understand that there's some better quality clothes here at good prices. A little bit more than the markets, but better quality and very competitive prices. Might be worth coming here for a visit. It's not that far from the city. In this section we got lots and lots of shoes, slippers, mostly slippers I think here, some scarves, some winter caps, toys. That's the Garegin Nzhdeh station, metro. And again, lots and lots of shoe shops here. And through here, it's an attempt to keep the cold out. Through here, we've got lots of florist shops. How they manage to stay in business, all selling next door to each other, I don't know. They manage somehow. So, cosmetics, makeup, handbags. Souvenirs here. More cosmetics, like Yerevan. Mobile phone, computer accessories here. More scarves and winter gear. There's nothing pretentious about Shengavit. Doesn't pretend to be something it's not. It is what it is. It's a working class suburb, and I like the fact that it doesn't try to be something that it's not. And I think Yerevan city, the centre, as nice looking as it is, it's not a place to go shopping for the average Armenian. They can't afford to go shopping in the centre. Everything too expensive there. It's designed for the European market, I think, and rich Armenians. So that's why I like the authentic Armenian experience, coming to places like this, and you can find some really good bargains. Lots of selection here. Men's and women's clothing, children's clothing. It's really good. So if we were to go that way, that will take us to Yerevan, I think it's called. That's where our soldiers are buried. Memorial to them, past and present wars, and most recently, of course, with the war with Azerbaijan. So many young boys buried there. It's a very, very sad place, but very, very moving. If you were to continue on here, at the end of this road you'll go past Yerevan Lake, but if you turn left you'll go to Echmedzin. So on the southwestern corner of Garegin Nzhdeh Square, you'll find these little shops which are quaint. Lots of apartment buildings there, like I said, 5-storey, and this fantastic little bakery. It's really, really wonderful in there. Fantastic, tasty bread, gata, perishki, all of that type of thing. You need to come here. We've got herbs and spices and things like that in this shop. Some eggs, little meat shop, butcher shop in there. Corner fruit and veg. We've got zouk fish. Very good. Hi. And yeah, all of these things that are kept out in the cold now are good, providing it doesn't rain. And so here's the square itself. As you can see, lots of people about, and you can see that by the general dress of people, they tend to wear a lot of dark colours. There's not a lot of colour around. Younger people tend to wear more colour than the older folks. Oh, there's another butcher shop, and I think you can even have your meat cooked here on the Horovats barbecue. Yep, you can. We've got Grand Candy here. That's a good place to come with your children or just by yourselves. All of these little stores. There's a little market, and we've got the crazy traffic coming from 2 main arterial roads here. There's a few more arterial roads. They're not quite as busy as these two. Sometimes it gets really, really crazy here. Really crazy. Anyway, here we are. And we've even got sellers here who, I don't know whether they pay for this spot, but they set themselves up here and put their clothes on the wall. That's how they do it. Yeah, people like the fact that I'm filming them, I think, sometimes. Yeah, little corner shops, some nice little eateries, just snack food and things like that. Here, people getting on and off marshrutkas, or actually smaller bus. There's another little bakery there, and got some flower sellers here. Shengavit's a good alternative. It's a nice place to come for a day trip. Oh, there's a jet again. And have a good wander around. And yeah, so what I was saying before about Mrs. Mitch and I, some people thinking that we're asking where she's gone. Actually it's pretty self-explanatory from the last 2 videos, but anyway, I'll tell you, she's working during the weekdays, and weekends we're usually off to see our adopted family in Yerevan. We're not filming them at the moment, so we just try to have Saturday off and go and see them on Sunday, or vice versa. And so that really doesn't leave Mrs. Mitch any time to do some filming with me, and it's cold. So what we plan to do in the future is, once the weather starts to warm up again, we will go out and we will go to some different villages. I know a lot of you like that, so we'll do that. Have no fear. We love to travel. It's just not so convenient in the colder weather. So that's why I've been getting out and about, doing a bit of talking and walking, as I'm doing now. And I hope that some of you have benefited from what I have been saying. I do try to promote Armenia as a place to visit and also to live. That's one of my #1 priorities, of course. But I don't think that it's profitable to always talk about the positives. If I'm going to sell Armenia to you, you need to know the pros and the cons. We have a lot of good, as I was saying. We have family values, and they're very strong family values, and this is something very precious for us here. But within families, not all is perfectly okay, as in marriages and relationships across the world. There is abuse, particularly by men who should know better how to treat their wives and family, but unfortunately there are some who just don't take on the responsibility of manhood, of being a good husband and a father to their children. And this happens not just in the city, but of course in the villages too. Now, this is by no means the norm, but it does. Family problems do exist, and we have some lazy men here who don't want to work, or rather they feel that the type of work that they have been offered is beneath them, and they shouldn't do like a cleaning job or something like that, which may provide a piece of bread for their family. Rather, they would spend what money is coming in from the home, maybe from the wife or children, grown-up children, on cigarettes and vodka. Well, that's not going to help them. That's not going to help the situation any. So that's one thing I try to point out, that it's not all rosy, but there is such a lot of good here. You'll see family members, you'll see families together walking around hand in hand, arm in arm, and it's really quite beautiful. I'll cross over the road here. So yeah, so here we are, folks. We're in a part of Yerevan that I like quite a lot, and it might surprise you to know that I would even consider living here if I was wanting to buy a home in Yerevan. But my heart is in a village, and maybe one day we can somehow afford to buy a village home and maybe, I don't know, rent out our apartment or something, because basically retirement is just around the corner for both of us. Selling hot dogs by the look of it, and kebabs. What? And a more clothing shop. I just stepped on a lady's foot, that's why I said Nerihutsun. I think Nerihutsun says I'm sorry, or means I'm sorry, or forgive me. Yeah, I wasn't watching where I was going. So we're now coming up to the square again, just to give you another perspective of it. Here, busy place, always full of activity and good, genuine people. So we're on the other side of the square now. Another florist shop there, another little eatery, bakery type thing. This is a tiny little cafe. I don't think they're operating, or maybe they are, but inside. It's too cold to be sitting outside now. We got banks along here, and telcos. Beeline is one of them, a telco. Armenia Bank, it's one of the bigger ones here. Yeah, so there you are, folks. Interesting architecture. Thought you might just like to see something different today. I think it gives you a pretty good view of life here in Shengavit. Another corner fruit and veg store here. Ucom, that's another of the major telcos here in Armenia. And numerous stairs leading down to the subway and to the metro. Okay, so folks, that's all I have for you today. It's another long one, I know, but I'm so glad you've tuned in and watching this video. God be with you all. May the Lord bless and keep you safe no matter where you are. I know that we're all going through difficult times, difficult period with this disease that's swept the world, but please don't lose hope. God is with us, particularly when we turn our attention off of ourselves and focus on really the important things in life, and the fact that He's given us this wonderful life to live to the fullest in a good way. And if we do that, everything's going to fall into place, I believe, and we're going to come out of this thing hopefully in the not too distant future. In the meantime, wish you all well. God be with you all. For now, it's bye from Mitch, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.